What is up, my fellow gamers and people who may have just stumbled onto the channel? I'm Wolflaf, and today I'm coming at you with another video. This one about the Mordhau update. Is it good? Is it shit? Or is it somewhere in between? Which is most likely going to be the case. And also, there seems to be something interesting, but I'll explain about that at the end of the video. But without further ado, and before we get into this video, actually, I'm going to ask you to like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow, and join the Discord and the link in the description down below. But otherwise, without further ado, let's get into the video. So in order to get off to this new update, you got to understand that the last update was 6 months ago. The last update was like patch 24 was a whole 6 months ago, a whole half a year. I know that sounds retarded, but a whole half a year. And this update was released on June 23rd, which is my birthday, which is why I haven't covered it until now. Now, some of the things that they added this update was apparently new cosmetics. Honestly, I couldn't be bothered to look for them because there's no new weapons. There's probably a few new weapon skins, but I can't be bothered to look at these new cosmetics. It's probably just another helmet, pants or whatever, and another chest piece. Now, the important shit, the new map. I think this map is very well made. I enjoyed playing on it in my limited games played, but Arid is a good map. It is well made, and overall, it is not... It's big, which is a problem with a lot of the Mordhau maps, but also it feels like the objectives mean more. It's not as like kill everyone face. It feels a little more like Chivalry, and I think that's what Mordhau devs realize they got to be like, because Chivalry is a really good game, or Shiv 2 rather, is a really good game. So the devs obviously took some inspiration, both direct and indirect, from Shiv 2, and they decided they needed to make their objectives feel like they mattered more. Like in Castile, that the objectives mattered, or yeah, Castile the map, or Castellio rather. Sorry, I'm thinking of the Spanish country from the Middle Ages. In Castellio, the maps and objectives and shit, that matters because it does have more of an impact on the game. But in this one, it feels like both sides really have a chance to actually work towards something. Like as the defending side, you can actually deal damage to the ram that they're pushing, which it makes you feel like you're doing something rather than just killing people, which is normally what they do. So overall, I'd say the map is relatively well made, and I have no complaints with it. Personally, I think it's good. It's got the problem with being too big, which is what a lot of these Mordhau maps have. We haven't really gotten a small map. Like Taiga feels small, and that's a good thing, because it feels like you're in a bigger battle than you actually are, because it's only 32 people. But a map like, let's say, Camp, it feels too big. That's why I don't like that map. But this map also feels too big, but it's not as bad as Camp. So I think this map's overall enjoyable. It's a good map. Now, one thing I would like to touch on is that it is very noticeable, but this game is basically dead. Servers are at like an all-time low, I think, since the game launched. And because Shiv 2 is now out on Steam, many people, like myself, are going to try that and realize that that combat system is very good. Now, while I think this game's combat system is also very good, it still does have, the lingering issues that it most likely always will have, unless a sudden spring of new people were to come upon this game. Because now all you basically got is the amazing veterans, and that's about it. Because no new players are coming, because Shiv 2 is a little more noob friendly. But honestly, yeah, I think that this map is, and this update is a really good one. I'm not gonna go into too much detail about my opinion on the game as a whole, but this was a solid update. What I did like though was the novice servers. And I like that this is a change that they're making. And I like how it's highlighted in green on the server browser. For like new players, you can, or if they consider you a new player, I don't know what the threshold is, but I know I'm definitely over it because I'm level 80. But it's probably like level 10 or 20 and below. But for novice players, they have a server browser where they don't have to go up against these melee gods. And I think that's pretty cool. I kind of wish something like that existed when I started first. But back then, I think it was also an easier game to get into, so it didn't matter that much. But I think nowadays, it's definitely good that the novice players have like their own server. But I just really hope that there's no asshole who gets another account on Steam, buys this game, and then just plays on that so we can crush noobs. Because like, don't be that guy. Don't be that dude. But as you can see on screen, I believe at this moment, I'll be showing you that me as a relatively older player, or I've been playing this game for a few years now, on and off, and I can't join a novice server. I think that they did a good job. It's the closest they'll ever get to level-based matchmaking in a frontline mode, because they can do that in duels and stuff, but they can't do that in frontline. I think just good job, Tertarian. I think that this update's been very noob friendly, which is a very good thing to have on a game that it was not very welcoming to newer players. Now that we've talked about like the really good things, I do think this update is really good. I cannot sing your praises really any more than I already have, and I think that this update was good. Now let me get that out of the way. Let's talk about some of the controversy here, because I've played a little bit of Shiv 2. Let me pull up my hours on Steam right now to get you that official count. But I've played a total of 17.6 hours of Shiv 2. Now, there's a mode in Shiv 2 called the... what is it? Tenosian Invasion. It's very similar to the Eastern Invasion update for Mordhau. Now, do I think that Mordhau copied the Tenosian Invasion mode? No. No, because Tenosian Invasion, I believe, has only been out for a few months. I actually think that both were working on or that Mordhau announced the Eastern Invasion way back in like something of 2021. It was way earlier in 2021. And if you take a look, maybe the company, what is it? Can't remember their name. The company that makes Shiv 2. They probably realized, oh, maybe we should make something similar. Now these maps share the main map for Tenosian Invasion from Shiv 2 is very similar to Arid from Mordhau, and I don't know if that's a case of one taking the other's design, but they both have a frontal assault, as opposed to like Fatoria's side assault, where they're scaling to the keep first, then moving down to the town. They're both using a frontal assault, moving towards the town first. They are both trying to push something in the first objective, like a ram, ladders and shit. And their objective in the end is to take the town. Like, obviously, this is the bare basics, but the map itself, go play, if you own Shiv 2, go play these and see how similar they are in terms of what they look like. Like, these maps are very similar. And I thought that it was very weird to have played a few games of that map and then to have seen this map look extremely similar. So I don't know if that's just a case of people having the same ideas, which it happens a lot. Like, take a look at some of the like millions of games out there. It happens quite a bit, but it's very eerily similar, which makes me think somebody copied somebody else. And I'm not going to point fingers at anybody because I don't know who it was. But with that out of the way, I do want to cover the camels. So they were talking about in the Discord a four-legged surprise, which obviously was referring to the camels, which they added. Now, a few of the great things about the camels. I think the model looks great. The model looks good. It works very well. The problem comes in the fact that they're just the horse but reskinned, which we've already gotten before with different skin variations of the horse. from mods, or that one time they put them into reindeer as a Christmas special or whatever. Like, they look very different. The animation looks pretty different, but it's just the same as a horse. I really wish the camel like had its own unique thing where it could spit, but it had a little less health, so people could take you down easier on it. Because let's be honest, a spitting camel would be fucking hilarious. And we already know this game doesn't go for realism at all, because it allows you to do like stage 5 autism in terms of the character creation. You can be a dwarf already, so you know this game doesn't go for true authenticity, which, you know, dwarves do exist, but it's not as anybody can be a dwarf, which in this game is not as often, which in real life rather it's not as frequent to have someone who's shorter than the average, as opposed to where in the game where everybody can be a dwarf, is what I'm saying. And I really wish they had some more variation in what they did with the camel, but overall the model looks good. I think the run animation looks how like a camel would run. If you were to Google up a camel fucking booking it, it's very tilted forward, whereas like a horse is quite upright when it runs. The camel looks like it's running downhill a lot more, which is quite accurate. And I thought that, you know, it was a well-designed model, but I felt that they could have done more with it. But yeah, overall, this was a well-made update, and I definitely think that it will bring some people back to Mordhau. Will it save this game? No, because this game doesn't really need saving, but I don't think that this has necessarily been a bad update. I don't think it's been as bad as when they reworked all the class shit and when they got rid of the 16-point system. So I think that this has been a good update. I think that the map was very good, despite being very similar to that one map from Shiv 2. But that could just be a coincidence. I have no clue. And overall, I really liked the way that they handled this update and the way that they've sort of come out with, you know, Eastern Invasion Part 2. I thought the camels were a cool addition, if not slightly flawed. And the cosmetics are probably cool. I haven't taken a look at them yet, though. But, you know, with that being said, hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. Join the Discord link in the description down below, and I will see you all next time. Bye.